Okay, guys, the truck is back. The engine got rebuilt. The guy told me 2 to 3 weeks. It took 2 months. Let me open up the door here. What I'm doing, I drive it around a little bit and warm it up. When I first brought it home, it was giving me a signal. Let me get out of the sun, it's too bright. When I first brought it home, it gave me a StabiliTrak signal, and I said, "Shit, that's the same thing that happened when it broke down." So I called the guy. He said, "Bring it in. We'll check it." So I left it for a week. He drove it around for a week, and he put about 100 miles into it. He says the signal went away and it's not doing anything. So it basically what it was is the computer has to relearn, because when they had the StabiliTrak light on, that's when the engine was broken. So the computer kept that message and repeated it when you first turn it on, and so anyways, it went away because the computer had to relearn, I guess, and readjust to the new engine, and now it's working okay. So I already driven it around for about an additional 100 miles, so it's got about 225 miles. I didn't go hunting this season. The season opened last week and I didn't go, even though the truck was already here and everything. But let me show you the engine. Working good. All right, it's warm in here, so turn the AC. So the engine has to be broken in slowly, and I already took it on the freeway and took it to several streets and just drove it around. One thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to buy those foam cushions that they go on the stop. I think it's called the spring stop. There's a rubber piece in there that is something drops on it really hard and it goes to the limit, it stops there. But it's not helping me with the ride. The ride is a little rough because the truck is overloaded with the camper and everything in it. I'm gonna have to lighten that up a little bit. But I've been looking into the Sumo cushions. It's supposed to give you a better ride, better stability, a lot less shaking when you go on the dirt, on a hard road or trail. So even though I'm not going to be doing that either, just some dirt roads, and that's going to be one thing that I'm going to do. And then the next step is going to be change the stereo. The stereo is an old-fashioned stereo. I've been looking at some videos, and a lot of people have been buying the what do you call it? The generics, I think it's called. And it's a simple install. I can probably do it. We finally fixed the stereo on the car. I changed the amp, and the amp wasn't bad. It was the stereo. So we found on eBay, we found the stereo, and everything works on it. So we had it installed, and that wasn't cheap. And I also installed the 2 speakers on the doors and the tweeter, because they were bad. So the next thing to do with the car is change the speakers in the rear. So then the whole stereo system is pretty much new. On this one, the stereo speakers on the doors, they sound okay. I don't know. Once I change the stereo and put a better stereo there with the GPS, I do want the GPS screen. And you know, it has some apps that you can download and things like that, and you know, just to bring it up to date a little bit. And then the next step will be, which I'm not doing it, not just now, the tires. If you saw the video a few videos back that I got stuck in the mud for 3 days up in the mountains, and I was just waiting. I knew there were going to be hunters in the area. I just went early, and I had to wait there for 3 days, but I couldn't get out. I tried everything, and I couldn't get out. So I need better tires and taller tires. So right now I got 245s. I'm going to get 275s. I don't know if they make a 280. I haven't really looked into it, but I'm going to get BF Goodrich. I always had those, and they're pretty good tires in the mud. And also, it's going to help me with the height. You know, that's one reason I got stuck, because it sunk down to the chassis, and once the mud grabs onto your chassis, there's not that much you're going to do unless somebody else pulls you. And that's what happened. I was waiting there for 3 days until somebody. You know, I wasn't worried because I got the camper out. You know, sleeping, and I was eating, and I have my drinks, and you know, my cooler full of stuff. You know, I wasn't worried about that. And then finally this guy came by with a pickup, and it turns out that somebody I know. And I said, man, I've been waiting for somebody. I'm glad you showed up, you know. So I already had the strap laid out, ready to be pulled, and you know, he just put it on his hitch and just give me a little yank, and because I already had a ramp of rocks made. It's just that the tires, when grabbing the rocks, they keep slipping, and I tried my tracks that's on the side here. What do you call those tracks? I guess they're good in the sand, but it wasn't any good in the mud. But I'm not blaming the tracks. I'm blaming the tires. The tires weren't soft enough to grip and climb out of there, out of the hole. It was the tires were too hard, and it just kept slipping. And then on top of that, I was sitting in water, so it was slipping and sliding on the plastic that track thing, and I wasn't moving. It wasn't moving, and I kept rocking it back and forth. And I tried everything. So what I did was, when I came back, I didn't like that experience, because, like somebody said, what if it happened in the snow? That would have been a whole different thing, because now you're in the cold and you're wasting all your propane, and in 3 days time probably I ran out of propane, so I'm gonna have that thing running all the time. But anyways, what I did when I came back, I went and got some 24-inch steel stakes, drilled hold about 2 inches from the end, put a steel carabiner on there, and then I got a Camelon that I loaded up also. I got an 8-pound sledgehammer, and I have a high lift 44-inch, I believe it is, or 48-inch high lift jack. So if I would have had that gear with me, I would have gotten that out of there really easy, because all I had to do is lift it high enough, have my rock ramp, lift it high enough, put it in gear, 4-wheel drive, so the fronts are, if they were pulling at all, or rock the when they come along, crank it back and let it fall on top of the pile of rocks, and that probably would have got me out. Or just bring it out slowly in gear, in reverse, bring it out, and when it catches, it'll drive itself out, and then I can jump, with the door open, leave the door open, jump in and take control of the vehicle. So I could have done several things to get out of there, but nothing was working because I didn't have the right tools. I was working with a 9-inch bottle jack, and that's just for road emergency if you're going to change a tire or something, So I put the high lift in there. It was sitting in the garage, and I said, what's it doing in the garage? It's supposed to be with the vehicle, right? And I got my straps, and I got chain, and I got a few things. So that's why the vehicle got overloaded a little bit. But those are tools that you need to take with you. You have to take with you. So it was a mess. I got all muddy, and so, but I'm used to it. I've done it before. I used to go for wheeling with a friend of mine in Azusa Canyon, and that's Mud City in there. Don't do that anymore. Been there, done that. So the truck has a slight vibration, I'm noticing here, and I'm gonna kind of blame it on the tight engine. We have to wait until the engine drives. I can drive the engine for 1,000 miles, see if it settles down, if it kind of, and then I have to take it back so they can retighten the heads. Same thing I gotta do on the boat, but they loosen up a little bit once you drive it for a while. So I'm not gonna call the shop to tell them there's a vibration because the engine is still tight. I could touch base with him and mention it and see what he says, but if it's not that tight engine, maybe there's a bad coil, or there's a bad spark plug, or a bad spark plug wire. One of those three. It's an electrical thing. But as far as the drive, it drives, drives the same, drives okay. And put that in there. So yeah, I didn't go hunting this year. I am gonna go to pick up a camera. And my wife says, "Oh, you're gonna drive 5 hours to go pick up a camera, and you're gonna spend all the fuel." And I said, "What do you want to do? Leave it there?" I didn't buy a hunting license. I bought a hunting license for the dove. I didn't buy a tag for a deer tag or anything. I might do some pig hunting later. I think pig hunting is open year round. I don't know. It used to be that way. I really haven't checked on that. But I'm done with the deer. If I go, it's gonna be just to video and do some camping and talk to the guys that I know that they go up there, and they got a friend that's got a cabin. I can go visit up there and stay for a weekend, that kind of thing. But I'm done killing the deer. That's what a friend of mine told me. He says, put down the gun, pick up the camera. And I said, yeah, go film some video, some nature, birds, and maybe deer or bear or whatever. But I'm done hunting. Don't feel like killing anything anymore. So okay, temperature's good, oil is good, everything's fine. So, but it does have a vibration, and so it's gonna be one of those. So maybe I should call the guy and see if he says bring it in again. All right, guys, I want to turn off. I gotta go get some lunch, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.